We'll try again. I heard a little echo in my headphones there.
That's very good. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking
See, now
for.
everyone
So
missed your professional intro.
I know I had a completely professional intro. It sounded so good.
It did,
It
and
was
now it's gone.
worthy. It was worthy of a Webby. I don't even know if that's such a thing, but
We'll
it's
pretend
worthy
that
of
it
some
is.
sort of award. Yes. So welcome everyone to episode 127 to the pregame show. We got about 1 minute left. Sorry to keep you waiting. It says two waiting still, but it shows the stuff.
I don't know what to tell you. I
Maybe
don't
just
control YouTube.
oh crap.
It's
It
not
says
like I
why.
understand the internet. It's like magic to me. You might say, oh, all I have to do is wave my wand and that will make a stream. Okay, sounds legitimate to me. I don't know
Well,
any
you bet.
different.
Yeah, you better get ready to wave your magic wand because it's almost showtime there, Cats and Jammer Kid.
I'm waiting. Oh, we have 2 seconds.
All right.
That won't go away. We have movie sign.
Bombs and bands. Bombs and bands.
All systems go.
Bombs and bands.
Defiance.
Bombs and bands.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and bands.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 127th live edition of Bombs and Vance and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey everyone, how are you doing?
Excellent. And the missus.
Eating pizza, as per usual. It's kind of my
Yes.
job on the show. I run the board and I
Well,
eat the pizza.
yes, you drink and you know things.
That's right.
All right. Well, Dinklage, how are you doing today? It sounds like you have things that you want to do before we move to the important parts
I
of
do
the show.
have things that I want to do. The first is the reason that we were off last week, and I don't know if you put that in your blog or not. Did you do that?
I rarely write about my personal life, so
Okay, all right. Well, we did have a death in the family last week, and it was a death of a four-legged member of our family. Here he is. Yeah, he has gone to the to scrounge in the great litter box in the sky, and he's not a cat, so you know what I'm talking about.
he's still doing better than the Broncos will do this year.
That's probably true, but I do have a little song done by AI for him. I thought the dog deserved a song. He was a pretty good dog. So here's our little song.
Just a pup with an appetite so grand. But there's a fat dog in the neighborhood. He's got the upper hand. Every time I try to snag a treat or two, he comes waddling over saying, those belong to me, you know who. He's got rows on rows, can barely lift a paw. But when it comes to treats, he's the alpha dog raw. I try to sneak a bite, but he's always there to block. Oh, that fat dog, he's a real foodie watchdog. Oh, that fat dog won't share a crumb. He thinks all the treats belong to his big tongue. But I won't give up, I'll keep on the chase, for a dog's gotta eat. It's a tasty race. But now he's gone and I'm feeling blue. No more food battles, no more tug of war too. Though he was greedy, he was still a friend. And now that he's gone, I miss him in the end. I remember the times we fought over a bone, how he'd snuggle close when I felt alone. Though he was fat and greedy, he had a heart of gold. And now that he's gone,
And that's it. A little song that I like to call Ode to a Fat Dog.
There you go. And he's not as big or as small as he is if you're watching on the screen. He was about 8 pounds, and his head it wasn't even fist size.
He was
I
not
would
8
say.
pounds. He was like 15 pounds.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
He was the barking
anyway,
bratwurst.
he was the barking bratwurst. Just a
What?
well, no, his redeeming quality is he loved you. So I will go with that.
He was a
Mark,
sweet little guy.
Mark, do you have more things before Mark, did your dog die this week?
Nope, she's doing fine.
Okay. And actually, our other dog has really come out of his, I guess, self-imposed pain.
Right. Well, that song was written from the other dog's point of view. And he's sitting beneath my desk right now, so he's sitting on my feet. I do have some funnies, though. We're
Well,
not
let's
all
go
about
to the
serious.
funnies.
Okay.
Let's go to the funnies.
All right. So the reason that I'm completely unprepared for the podcast this week is that there's been a lot of nasty weather across the mid part of the country this week, and that's kind of taken up a lot of time. This has been me this week. Not again. No. And there were, by the way, more tornado warnings tonight. Not specifically in our area, but not too far from here.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so there's the first one. Here's the next one. Someone named Sarah O'Connor should think twice about tweeting about a robot killing a worker in Germany.
Very good.
And the last one, just because I like to dunk on LSU. And now because I was playing with the AI music maker earlier, I don't know if Jim is in the audience tonight, but he may listen to this later. And so this particular funny is, it's a little bit for Jim. So here we go.
Listen up, folks. I've got a tale to tell about my dear old uncle who didn't fare so well. He thought he was cool, but oh, how wrong he was. For he became the victim of a massive cannibal buzz. Oh,
I like
my
that.
uncle, bless his heart. His moment of shame tore him apart. From that day on, he didn't get his wish, but he did make a super tasty dish.
Let's see, that's got a very good Simon and Garfunkel kind of beat to it. So I kind of like that. I can't even mention the name of the song. That's kind of stirring up YouTube, but it's I glued my blank to my blank hole
Right.
again. And it's kind of a catchy song. It's actually really well done.
It'll stick with you, so to speak.
It does. Yeah.
How did
Well,
that
that same
happen again?
YouTube channel has other songs too. So
It does. It does. I'm glad you saw it too. I'm glad you saw it too. All right. Well, that being said, and I know that we don't have any particular news stories tonight. I do know that it's time to take a stroll now.
All right.
And now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
Hey, that played correctly tonight.
It did. It didn't even cut off the
I
hamster.
know.
All right.
Interwebs are being merciful on me for the whole dog
So-
thing.
So did everybody do their pre-reading on this on the Trump trial? Is
What
anyone
was I
up to
supposed
speed? Is
pre-read?
anyone...
I am up to speed on the Trump trial.
Okay. So here's my first question for Conversation Street on the Trump trial. Does it surprise anyone that Stormy Daniels asked if it was going to be a hung jury? And
gosh.
and the other thing that I heard is she was going to ask the judge if he was planning on gagging her too.
Oh, all of these deserve the rim shot, and I can't find it.
That's well.
There it is.
Don't
Better
mention
late
the
than
word.
never.
Don't mention the word rim around Stormy. All right, getting saucy early here.
She takes that as a whole different meaning.
So, Mark, what's the rundown on the Trump trial?
Which one?
The one that's going on, the trial.
Well, I mean, he had a couple of them going on. I mean, the document, the
But there's
classified
no
documents
trial. That's all pre-trial. They
well,
haven't
okay,
sworn a jury.
pre-trial,
If
but
it's not
anyway.
a jury, no jury, no trial.
All right, fine. I don't know because I haven't been following it other than I saw that she'd offended the jury deeply with her foul recitations of whatever was flitting through her brain.
See, I hadn't heard that. I just heard that it was very in detail description of the alleged encounter.
And I also know
And I don't know
Trump's-
what that has to do with any of the charges.
That was a point that was raised, and the judge actually sort of chastised the defense for not objecting enough in the first part of her testimony. So I guess they were objecting more after.
Well, and
but
yeah,
like he would have allowed those objections. I mean, come on. He allowed that. He allowed that testimony in the first place, right?
I guess it got saucy enough that even he was feeling a little bit of pressure to or discomfort.
Yeah, and it's weird. His name is Judge Biden. Who knew?
Right.
I'm sorry, Judge O. Biden. But this is not the one that was eaten by cannibals.
Oh, you said it though. Now we have to say
massive cannibalism.
Yeah.
And Jim's not here. This is killing me. This is just killing me. I'm gonna have to.
He'll be
gonna
able
have to
hear
message
it
him
later,
again.
and it will brighten his day.
But while we're on the Trump trials and travails, let's scoot along to the rest of those. And so, Mark, if you have further commentation. Did I just say okay, well, I haven't.
How much have you had to drink tonight already?
Half a beer. God, I'm a lightweight.
Sad.
I know, Mark.
Yeah, but when you're buying beer in 2-liter bottles, I mean, what does that mean?
Oh, don't you know that? See, that was a good one, eh? You hoser. So, Mark, what other Trump trial shenanigans have you heard?
Well, as far as the actual trial, going on, you're right. No, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't been following it that closely, to be honest.
Okay, Mark, I'm going to have to ask you to become our official Trump trial correspondent. Can you do that? I should ask you after the story. Okay, he's non-committal. That should be an after the show question because otherwise he's going to want to raise.
Well, all I see are little articles. There's no like detailed analysis that I've come across. So, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's blogging, the whole thing and all the juicy details, but.
I don't want to hear juicy out of what's her name's mouth. All right. Do we have any more Trump trial Conversation Street tidbits? Okay, hearing none, I call this session adjourned, and let's move on to. Are we ready? 2 minutes of guns in 60 seconds.
We are ready, and we actually have sound for this week. So let me know when you're ready, and we'll be off and running. Are you ready to go on this, Mark? You ready? Because you'll have a countdown.
Okay.
On your mark.
No, wait. That's part of it. No. Are you ready, Mark?
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, now it sounds like 60 minutes. I feel like I'm being interrogated.
Ambushed.
Ambushed, yes. And what do you do when you're ambushed? You counter ambush. But anyway,
15 seconds.
You rush. What?
15 seconds.
13 seconds. Okay. Real quick. Don't use birdshot for home defense in your shotgun. It just doesn't have the penetration necessary to reach vital organs. But majority of people that do try to use birdshot in their defense shotgun always reason, well, it's not going to penetrate walls. Well, that's not true either. It will It will penetrate a
45
wall,
seconds.
and it will, it can injure someone on the other side. Probably wouldn't do any too much to an adult, but it would potentially seriously injure a child.
2, 1.
So there you go. I'm done.
Stop.
Early.
Well done, Mark. Well done.
Well done. Outstanding. I think you should make the 15 the comments at the quarter periods much more jarring. 15 seconds. Mark, that was wonderfully well done. It's like, so I heard the rumor that when Arlie Ermy was auditioning for Full Metal Jacket, he had people throw items like oranges at him for 15 straight minutes while he never repeated well, not a complaint,
You would clearly fail that trial.
Yes. Well, after half a beer, I guess I would. So anyway, well done, Mark. Good job. Do you have applause for on the applause?
Yeah.
All right. So birdshot, I always think shoot for the eyes. Shoot for the eyes.
Go for the eyes. Boo the eyes. That's a video game throwback.
All right. Well, since Mark said penetration twice. Can I count that on my Trump trial bingo card? Even the segment was supposed to be. That's what we ought to do.
We'll allow it. Yeah.
We ought to have the Trump trial bingo card. Mark ought to do the Trump trial update, and we ought to have a bingo card that we issue to the audience beforehand.
I like
That's
that.
a great idea.
That's a good idea. Mm-hmm.
A lot of work for you too. Anyway, moving right along. It's time for.
Oh, okay. Ironically enough.
Think real fast.
Normally, in this segment, we think real fast, and we try and move really quickly through.
I don't think any of us are thinking very quickly tonight.
I know. But, this is still the best stuff ever that's ever been put on the internet. So, an official with the Federal Reserve admits that Biden's illegal immigration crisis is resulting directly into increasing interest in mortgage rates for actual Americans. Mark, should we just change the minimum wage for illegal aliens to 10 cents per hour?
Yeah, that might get rid of them.
The missus, why do you think that this should end up with more aid for Ukraine? Because it will.
Because that's where this flow chart always ends.
Illegal
no matter
aliens
where
raising
you
interest.
start.
Illegal aliens invading the United States, causing interest rates to go up. More aid for Ukraine.
That's right.
He's very
Shovel
good.
it on
Crazy.
in there.
Crazy Z approve. So Popeye is broke because olive oil is getting more expensive. I'm sorry, actual olive oil is getting more
And
expensive
are we
because
talking about actual Popeye chicken? Because I would be upset about that.
well, but they don't make it with olive oil.
You're right.
Or should they?
I don't. Maybe.
Okay. Anyway, an actual olive oil shortage. I swear I haven't even finished my first beer yet.
Bravo.
All right. An actual olive oil shortage is in place, probably due to a shortage of olives. Mark, does this make the coming and inevitable bird flu better or worse?
Well, I don't know, but definitely it'll make people have to switch to something like, I don't know, Crisco.
Thank you, Codex. I'm glad that you caught that the Trump trial segment's still not over.
All right. And this is your question on the olive oil shortage.
Yeah.
With birth rates
Are you
down,
sure it's a shortage?
with birth rates down, are we worried about a baby oil shortage?
It's not a shortage, it's a shortage.
Yes. Are we worried about a baby oil shortage?
No, I think we have plenty of babies.
Okay.
We don't run out of
And if
babies
not,
soon.
Hillary Clinton can. If not, Hillary can go to Haiti.
Yeah.
Well, she'll-
Normally,
yeah.
Normally, I try and move really fast between these segments, but here, this one, I'm going to tell you this is actually a true story. This is a true story, not making anything up
Ripped
here.
from the headlines.
Okay, maybe a little bit. There's one thing I'm making up in the story. But in our News You Can Use segment, presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says a doctor told him that a worm ate part of Robert F. Kennedy's brain. According to Kennedy's sworn testimony in the divorce case, the doctor then told him that the worm had died in his brain. Also, and
Are
this
we
is the
sure
part I
that
made.
that's the case, or is that just
No,
a
this
line
is
he
this
uses
is
to pick
this
up
is
chicks?
sworn testimony in a divorce
Is that a
case.
metaphor for socialism?
This is a sworn testimony in
You know
his
what that
divorce case.
means, though? It means more money for Ukraine.
Yep, so, but and here's the
You're
part I made
losing
up.
control of this segment very quickly.
And also, the doctor noted that Kennedy, the way he dealt with the hole in his brain, is much better than any other Kennedy has ever dealt with a hole in his brain.
Oh, oh, oh.
Thank you. Thank you very
Well,
much.
if he'd only
Mark?
gone to Stormy Daniels, she probably could have sucked it out.
Mark, is this a sign that Kennedy is cognitively overqualified to work for Biden?
Uh, well, I'm pretty sure that if they were both fighting for the same ice cream cone, that Kennedy would win.
The missus, are you actually the parasite posting live from inside Kennedy's brain?
How did you know? Man, now my secret's out.
The missus is actually a brain parasite. All right.
Well, on the internet, no one knows that that's the case.
Okay. Sanctuary City, Denver has set up a hotline for Denver residents to volunteer to keep random people from other countries with them in their homes. What a fantastic idea. Mark, is this just another sign of how diversity has made us all richer as a country?
Um, I don't know. Actually, it sounds sort of like a prelude to Soylent Green. And remember the characters there had to live like multiple families or whatever to each apartment because of overcrowding.
See, I was going to say, Mark, I mean, they have to live in their apartment. They didn't say anything about having to get in the blender.
Well, you know, if
Is that the
first
next
it's a
logical
housing
step?
shortage, first it's a housing shortage, then it's an olive oil shortage, then it's gonna be a food shortage, and then massive cannibalism.
You know, it always comes back to that.
Massive cannibalism.
And then funding for the Ukraine.
There we go. The missus,
Yes.
I think do you think that you and I should volunteer to take some of those illegals from Venezuela? And then when they ask for the address where the illegals should show up, we give them a place in Venezuela.
This might be the solution to this problem. It's genius. I like it. And as Jeremy Clarkson would say,
sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
Well, speaking of genius, a Boeing 767 cargo plane crash landed at Istanbul airport with loose landing gear. Mark, would this have happened if Istanbul was still Constantinople?
Absolutely not.
The missus, do you think another Boeing whistleblower must now die sacrificed to the altar of Boeing?
I don't know about that, but the question is, which is worse? Crashing in an airplane or landing in Istanbul? Kind of a toss-up.
But what if
What if?
stick with me now. If
Okay.
Rome took Constantinople and all of the Middle East back, then we'd have all of our problems gone.
Another crusade. Brilliant.
No,
I like it.
Romans.
Sometimes my
Romans.
genius is... it's almost frightening.
Okay.
No, then the inhabitants of Israel would once again be waging guerrilla warfare against the Romans.
Well, again, the question is, do the Israelis control the area? Do the Palestinians control the area? Neither. It's Rome.
That's right. And you know what you'd get out of that? You'd get some deep, sustained booming sounds.
Deep sustained booming sounds.
Ah, deep sustained booming sound.
Perfect. The Georgia State Election Board is requiring the state to decertify Biden's victory and also recommends outside election monitors be installed to run the Fulton County 2024 election. Mark, is it time for the DOJ to conveniently find another box of classified material at Mar-a-Lago?
Probably. They've got to coordinate. The problem is they have to coordinate with the archives to put all this together because it's a little bit difficult for the FBI to manage, putting papers into a box by themselves. More
Without
what
adding
they're
to the
better
papers.
at. Yeah, well, I mean, what they're better at is dumping it out so the media can more easily photograph what's there. Yeah, so they have to coordinate with archives. Archives will go through and select the classified documents to slip in there, and then deliver it to the FBI for them to go out and then dump on the floor.
There you have it. The missus, do you think that we're allowed to talk about any of this on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure we're not.
Okay.
We'll probably get a ding for spreading misinformation. Even
All
though it was in the New York Post, right?
I don't know.
But I think the federal government has deemed all of the New York Post articles as misinformation, so we're in trouble one way or the other. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Governor Kristi Noem has just canceled her book tour in support of her psychically predictive named memoir, No Going Back, after people actually read it and saw that she killed her own dog for misbehavior. Mark, do you think she'll give it another shot?
No, but I have to say that, I mean, if you've grown up in farm country, there was absolutely nothing wrong with what she did. Once a dog starts going after chickens or other livestock, they're just never going to stop. So,
Yeah,
plus it looked like the
it's
dog
not
was,
a thing that can be rehabilitated out
yeah,
of a dog.
no, it's so yeah. And frankly, in a bird dog, I mean, do you really want to shoot a bird and have the dog rip it apart? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I think she did the right thing. And, frankly, I've discussed with all these people that think, oh, well, she should have passed it on to some other family, so it could kill their animals or gnaw on their children because, it was biting her.
And so
And
do those people not understand that when people say it will go live on a nice farm upstate, that's what really happened to the dog? Someone with a gun took the dog out for a walk, and only one of the two of those critters came back.
it's
And
like
you're right.
Dark
My dad did that too. We had a dog that started killing our animals on the farm. And, Dad took the dog for a walk out in the woods, and only Dad came back.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just the way it is. And so.
The missus, do you think that Christy would go back on tour if we would just sit up and beg?
But only if you did it on command. No, you know what I think is really killing her on this? Is the fact that she said also in the book, yeah, I know. Also in the book is that she met Kim Jong-un, and that never happened.
Yeah.
She just lied about that. That's what's killing her.
They were both on Uncle Bosie's bones.
Right.
Anyway, moving right along.
And
my thoughts on
that's
here.
where it always takes us.
Massive cannibalism.
My thought on this one, and I'm going to interject once, is that yes, we people who understand reality understand the reality of having to make those tough decisions for the betterment of humanity. And the farther we move away from that, the more we live on magical thinking. And speaking of magical thinking, in the latest sign of Skynet, the United States Marines are now testing robot dogs with rifles. Mark, who do you take in a one-on-one, Kristi Noem or a Marine robot dog?
Well, I guess, do you know who's producing the dogs? Because if it's Boeing, I'm gonna go with Kristi Neal.
It's the place that makes all the crazy videos of the robots running around and
Oh,
jump.
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Someday we're going to regret all these robots with rifles, but all right.
Can they be tricked by a robot ball being thrown? Yeah.
Well, that's true. I guess you could release a whole bunch of chickens. Maybe they'll go after those.
I think I'll just have to start walking around with a caption on my shirt.
I'll tell you though, if you could release those down on the border, that might help.
There you go. The missus, how long will it take for the Marines to impregnate the dog?
What?
Well, about 15 minutes.
Oh,
That's my answer,
no.
and I'm sticking to it.
Jim Wetzel just got here. Jim, when you listen to us, we have had massive cannibalism throughout the entire episode. Your name's come up more than once, so you need to go back through that. All right.
It's been a seriously Jim-focused episode.
Yeah. All right. Boy Scouts of America changed its name to Scouts BSA, and next year officially it will be just plain Scouting America. Mark, do you think the 1,200 or so scouts left by that time will remember to turn the lights out?
No, I mean, so under that new name, it's abbreviated SA. My guess is they'll start wearing brown shirts and marching around.
Leave that one alone. Because there's another thing that SA stands for. The misses, now that they're completely abandoned the Boy Scouts of America name, precepts, values, and standards, do you think someone should restart it, perhaps using robot dogs with rifles?
Absolutely. And I'm wondering, are they letting go of their copyright on that? Have they have they released their copyright on Boy Scouts of America?
At a certain point, if they haven't used it, I'm thinking they have. But, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy who is irritated. So, yes, you lost copyright if you irritated John Wilder. All right. Other exciting thoughts this evening? The missus, do you have any other happy thoughts on a Wednesday back?
The pizza's good.
We'll have to have some.
Is it a pizza made with long pork by chance?
Then that would be massive.
It's the theme.
Massive cannibalism.
There you have it.
I don't know. Let's ask Dr. Uncle Bozy. Delicious.
Ask Dr. Bozy. I like that. All right. Would you, if you were in Congress, sneak laws like that in 1 million-page bills? Of course.
It's a fantastic idea. Look, it's right there in the fine print.
You voted for it.
Not my fault you didn't read it.
I mean, if the Republicans had any sort of backbone, they'd start slipping crap into bills too that nobody reads, and then until after it's already passed. What? We repealed all the federal firearms laws, or something.
I have a breaking news. I have a breaking news update.
Oh my goodness! It's time for
Breaking news.
RFK Jr.'s campaign came out with an official statement that says the worm that ate part of his brain will not affect his ability to serve as president. Yes, you live in a civilization where that thing has happened.
And in fact, it's probably going to be his running mate.
If you pitched this in a comedy script, people would say it was too over the top and unbelievable.
I mean, let's be honest about this. It could not be worse as a running mate than Kamala Harris.
Fellow humans, please trust me that it is I and not the worms in my brain that are in control of this human.
She's such an idiot!
Yeah, but here's the scary thought. Even with the worm having eaten part of his brain, he is still at least, 30, 40 IQ points ahead of Biden.
Now we should have the slogan, voting for worms 2024. Oh my God. Have a brain-eating bug. Bug only eats a little, dies. What did the worm mean by that? This is a true story. This is a story that is happening in 2024 in the United States today. I wish I would have written this. My gosh, this is hilarious.
But Jimmy Carter hallucinated the giant rabbit, so he was just way ahead of his time.
But he did have a rabbit attack him. It was filmed.
He probably had brainworms.
He was like,
we now know.
I think next week we're gonna have a new T-shirt up in the shop. The Kennedy Brainworms 2024 ticket.
Worms 2024. Oh,
half a brain dedicated to restoring America. I love it.
See some presidential candidate, scooting along with their butt on the floor as they're trying to get rid of the worms.
Codex notes Kennedy Brainworms 2024 is still better than Biden. Quizzer notes Kennedy Fetterman, half a brain dedicated to restoring America. Oh my. Well, I wonder if the worm would beat Biden for the ice cream cone. Okay.
I'd put my money on the worm.
Well,
that's all muscle,
As unprepared as everybody else was but me, actually Mark was very prepared. So, not that I'm, shh. Don't let the missus know that I was just giving her time. Okay. On that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to our short version of the show tonight.
And we're back to the Trump trial.
We're back to the Trump trial of the short version. We'll be back next week with more humor and hijinks, and I thank you very much. And as always, I'm John.
This is Mark.
And I'm the missus. Y'all come back now, you hear?